It's gonna be a lot of color correcting because I am dark as hell. But we're gonna be reviewing Civil War in a nice, quiet location. So leave it to Marvel to start off with an action kind of sequence, showing how they left off from before, working together or doing their spy things. And of course Captain America is the captain of that kind of. Falcon has a little tiny plane friend, which is adorable and cute, and I love the cuteness of this because, in these kind of macho movies you don't really see the cute compared, and this little cute kind of plane is like a nice little companion. I think if it was his own movie it would have been more there. There's a lot of explosions, not really their fault, terrorists like explosions, and this whole movie is revolved around the casualties and the danger that these terrorists do, but for some reason the hero is at fault. I don't know why, but I think this is the way how they do this is kind of like a real world thing. It's so real how stupid people display or show. You could save 1 billion people, but if like a few people die, it's their fault even though it wasn't their fault. If aliens attack Earth right now and there's a bunch of people that's trying to save up, but in the process maybe killed a few people compared to the aliens that will kill millions, but we will blame them for those people. And you may think that it won't happen that way, but I seem stupid. So this is a realistic take on what it's like to be in a superhero universe, and it's not even that much people that died. You see casualties were like 36 or 144 was the most casualty, which is weird. Casualty doesn't mean dying. Casualty means maybe a broken leg or been injured or something. So you don't even know how much people died. And 144 casualties when an alien race attacked. If anything, this shows how stupid the government is, but it's more in depth with the government and Iron Man from his guilt. He's feeling guilty and he wants to basically give up taking the wheel. He let the government take the wheel instead of Jesus this time. He don't believe in Jesus, so the government shall take the wheel because he done enough already, which is another mistake on his part, kind of. Either way, there is no side at all. There is no side to be on. You could be on either side and you're right or you're wrong. I notice Captain is always a bowling ball. He's always thrown around. He's always thrown around by his teammates with his shield, thrown from here to there, and he throws a lot of people as well. But he's always the bowling ball of the team. Falcon could be flying, and then he throws Iron Man where he needs to drop off. Which to say, Falcon is very, very strong man to carry that other buff man and throw him into other enemies that high at the time. This is the most Africans I've ever seen portrayed as, good and not the bad guys, and this is the most African people I've ever seen in a movie that's portrayed as good people. Even the king and the prince, or now king, they are portrayed as good, noble people. You hardly see that much representation even in the background. Also, the reactions of the people in the background is realistic. They see people fighting, they will scream or anything like that, but when they see a gun they're like, oh shit, I need to go. So on the two sides, with Iron Man having this woman telling him that he's killed her child during Ultron, and then we have Peggy who influenced Captain to stay away from the government. And so you can see the two different sides of what inspired the other side to do what they're doing, and you find yourself trying to be on both sides. You can imagine what side I am on. I kind of agree to a degree Knowing the government, they always take a mile when you give them an inch. But it's nice to have the government on your side when you do these things, or they'll come after you and do what they want until they need you. So I agree on the fact of, if you don't do it now, sooner or later it's gonna happen. And it's best to pull the bandage now, but even if you're with the government now, it doesn't mean you have to follow everything. You can say you're on their side, but not really on their side. A pinch of paprika from what's his name? Vision. He's trying to learn to cook for his little witch. Even though they're on different sides, you see the chemistry between them and how they understand each other and their power, and people afraid of one of them, but still understand each other. You know, it's a nice little romance. It wasn't a romance. It was like a spark of something. That's the thing with these two superhero things. Even though they're fighting against each other, you can still see like the friendship. It's like brothers fighting, but not really fighting because they're mad, but fighting because they have to. Kind of like all those novels that have the two sides of brothers avenging whatever their land, and you know, they're not really mad at each other, but they have to do what they have to do. And the action on this is so acrobatic. Everyone had a freaking hand in this. Except for Vision and the witch, there's not really much hand-to-hand combat there, but Captain Stark, even well, of course, Black Widow and Black Panther, and what's that girl's name? I forgot her name. I forgot her role too. But she got in it too. Like, the action is it's so different. It's never a dull moment. I mean, I know there is like close-up of the punch or the hit or the kick or, you know, the muffle sound, but you get a lot of wide shots of like attacks and acrobatics and throwing people around. It's a really good sequence. I would watch this movie just for all the action sequences and all the jokes. The jokes are really on time, really slight, real world kind of jokes. Like, if you hang around with friends that joke a lot and play a lot, this is how this movie is. It's not like forced. It's more like, I'm tired of being with these people right now because they're making me laugh too much. They joke about every little thing. We're fighting, we're bleeding, but you have to pull a joke. That's the jokes they make in this movie. This one is like, you're very annoying right now, would you please shut up? And it's like dry, deadpan. It fits perfectly. The characters, there's not too much characters. It's like the perfect timing for each character. They have their own movie, so you don't need to know their background. Except for Spider-Man, but you know his background because how many times his freaking uncle been shot and killed. But we have a little hint of, you know, what he does, jumping in dumpsters and all that. But he is adorable. He is, I don't know much of Spider-Man. I do know enough, but has a face. He even has the ears for it. He doesn't look like a pretty boy, but he looks like a cute boy that will become a pretty boy later on in life, or at least a nerdy pretty boy, or a nerdy boy, if anything. A lot of jokes for him. He does feel like a teenager or college, one like in the middle between there. His jokes, his like, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm sorry, but I have to do this kind of thing, or I'm trying to impress my boss right now. He is adorable. The ending, where they fight each other almost to death, almost look like each other is gonna kill the other. Like, it really looked like they was gonna kill each other at the end of the movie. I am beating the hell out of my brothers, and I am so mad right now that I almost like killed them. The fighting in the end was intense. The other fighting was like, alright, we're fighting them to not kill them, but to get them contained, and a lot of surprises and a lot of like abilities, but not the credits ending, but the ending, you kind of have like hope for the other movie, that how are they all going to come back together, and is the Hulk going to come back together, or is the Hulk going to be part of it? Like, I would love for the Hulk to be like the one to bring everyone together, but that's just my imagination. I don't think it's going to happen that way. It's usually the big bad monster that comes back and brings everyone together. Maybe related to the stones, and maybe that's when we're going to see, oh my god, Guardians of the Galaxy with all these jokes. I don't think I could take it. It's too it was going to be too much. It's going to be too much. It's going to be too much jokes. It's going to be enough jokes. Too many plays. Like, I don't know how they're going to do. That's going to be a full comedy if they do that. How are they going to do it? I don't know, but right now this movie is like running the superhero movie universe. That and Deadpool like the rated R, and this one is like for kids, like for everyone. This is running the superhero. This is the base, the one that everyone should copy off of. Not copy, but look up to. This is the movie that everyone should look up to. I may be biased because I can't find a fault to it. Maybe I need to see it like 3 more times. But I can't find a fault for it. This is a comic book movie. I label that as its own area of movie. And compared to all comic book movies, I think this is like next to Deadpool for me. Like, Deadpool was funny as hell. Know itself, know what it's doing, know what it is. It's Deadpool. This one is like right there. It's like, know what it is. It knows it's this action movie, and know it's Captain America. It's here. We should all know that comic movies don't go by comic books, like perfect to the T. It has to be different, and it had to be noticed by the mainstream too, the people that don't know comics and want to jump into comics and see it's a different story. Like, you wouldn't jump into comics to see the same exact story. You want to see more, or you want to see something different. And I'm glad comic movies don't follow the comic book, because sometimes it doesn't work. This could be a 10 out of 10, and I just don't know, because I can't think of any other comic book movie. I kind of want to give it a 9.5 because 10 out of 10 seems too perfect. I think it could be better. I just don't know what it is, because I'm not that creative or movie creative enough to know what can make it better. I know it could be better. I just don't know what. So a 9 out of 5. 9 out of 5. 9 out of 10 is good enough for me. So I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. If you could even see me. So thank you for watching, and hope you like this little review of my, I don't know, I'm still team Iron Man to a T. I think what he's doing right now, especially at the end of the movie, he's not really with the government. He's with the government, but he's like a child that don't listen to their mom. I'm gonna watch those dishes after I do this and that and this and that and this and that, and okay, I love you, bye.